Today we're going to be doing a GT350 steering wheel install into my S550. I picked up one for a pretty good price. As you can see, it's missing pretty much everything, which is why it was such a good price, but it's in pretty good shape. A couple of nicks here and there, but it's going to serve its purpose just fine for me. So we're going to do a little how-to install it, run through a couple things. CJ Pony Parts actually did a really sweet install on this, so I'm going to link their video in the description. But yeah, this is our first vlog, so today we're going to give you a walk around of the car after we do the steering wheel install, go over the mods it currently has, which isn't too many, go over the plans for the car. We're about to have a ton of vlogs coming out. We're doing a lot to the car this weekend, so we're doing so much. In fact, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit all the mods into one video. So we're going to see how that goes. We'll walk over, take a look at the car now, and start going through the process. We're going to go ahead and get the battery disconnected. You always want to do this when you're messing with like a steering wheel install, especially with the airbag. I typically will just disconnect the battery and let it sit for 10 to 30 minutes or so. People have different opinions on what you should do, so do your own research on that. Let's go ahead and get this disconnected. Alright, so we got some 10mm nuts we're going to loosen up here. So we got that done. Just going to pull off and okay, yeah, that one took me 2 hands. So now that we got that disconnected, we're gonna let it sit. We're gonna let it sit for a couple minutes, make sure the system is fully discharged, and we'll start up with the process of taking the steering wheel off. Okay, the car sat for a little bit, so went ahead and popped off the airbag. There's actually 2 holes on the side here. There's one on each side of the steering wheel, and CJ Pony Parts installation says use a pick. I didn't have a pick. I ended up using just a small, like a Phillips head screwdriver, and you can see there's these springs here on the inside. So whenever you stick, let me get it real quick, whenever you end up sticking that Phillips head through there, you stick it through there and you push on that spring, just like that. Okay, it took me like 2 tries to actually find the spring. When I found it, it was super simple. So you do that on one side, it'll pop it off, then do it on the second side, and the airbag will slide right out. Okay, next up we got to get the airbag disconnected. There is this black plug that goes in the top here. All I did was this red piece with my fingernail, just pop it out. Then you have the 2 yellow airbag clips. I used my fingernails on each of the edges and just popped it up, and then these will actually pull straight up off of the plugs. I think I'll need 2 hands to pull it off, so give me a sec. And those came off, so there you go. Got the airbag out and all safe. So now we can work on pulling the factory steering wheel off, which is a 24mm bolt right here in the center. So of course, like every car guy out there, you think you have every tool for the job? And guess what? You don't. So run up to the store right now. I got to get a 24mm socket to pull that factory steering wheel off. I had like a 22 or something, so on our way to get that right now. Alright, so got the 24mm socket. So let's see if that's what we needed. Alright. I think that's loose enough to go by hand. Ta-da! Just like that. Oh, is there a plug on the back side? Yeah, there's a plug on the back side. Okay. Let's see if I can one-hand this plug. Ouch. Yes. Okay, plug was one-handed and steering wheel is off. So steering wheel, as you can see, is back It's intact with all of my stock components on the sides. Actually, I just noticed I gotta fix that. I went too tight on that, so I gotta fix that corner. But one thing I wanted to point out, the steering wheel. I've done a lot of steering wheels before, and they're always a pain to line up, but because we're going with just the 350 steering wheel back on here, it slides over the nut in perfect alignment, which means you don't have to worry. You know, it's pretty straightforward, which is awesome. So we're gonna put the bolt back in, we're gonna plug the airbag back on, then push the airbag back in, and we should be done. Man, it looks sick with a flat bottom. Can't wait to drive it. And here we are, finished product. It's back in, everything's hooked up. I had a problem, if you remember the original video I talked about, there were springs behind the steering wheel. I'll try and I'll put a picture in this part of the video if I can find it. Well, I didn't notice it, but the guy I bought the car from, or I bought the steering wheel from, I guess he pulled those clips out. Those clips weren't in mine. So I went to put the airbag back in, and there were no clips. So it took me a minute to figure that out. So if you have a problem with the steering wheel not locking, because it locks pretty easily once it goes back in, you might be missing some clips. But I'm not going to film this part because, of course, it has started raining. So I'm going to go plug the battery back in, get my windows up before I get too much water in the car. So we're going to try vlogging in this car. It's pretty loud. It's not the loudest Mustang, but I don't know how hard it's going to be for you guys to hear me. So I got the steering wheel in. It's sick. Man, this is like, as far as like drivability goes, in this car, this is fantastic. This has improved the feel of the car so much more, even though it's just like something small and simple. The next thing is to do the short shifter, the MGW short shifter in the car, because the stock MT82 is trash. It's such a garbage transmission to put with such a good motor. I still don't know why they did it. But here we are, just cruising, you know. You see there we got the N-gauge in place. I'm actually on my, London just sent me my E85 flex tune, the first revision of that. So it looks like my pump gas tune is pretty evened out now. So we're gonna go over what the car has for modifications now. So currently it has it's a 2015 GT. It has a PMAS 120 millimeter velocity intake. It has Mac cat deletes. It has a MBRP exhaust. I think it's the race. I think it's the race, but I can't really tell, to be honest. I know it's got the mufflers like the race, but there's so many different versions. It's got the MBRP exhaust. I've got Ford Racing suspension on it. I love the way it handles. I do plan on getting coilovers because the whole point of building this car is to run it at VIR and do track days. So for coilovers though, I'll be going with Fortune Auto coilovers because they're up the street, they're hand built, the customer service is pretty hard to beat, especially if you're an East Coast guy. So I'm gonna go with Fortune Auto coilovers. Of course, the car is about to be on E85. Once that mileage gets to 0, we're gonna pump some E85 into this bad boy. You know, pretty simple stuff. All right, so here we are with the car. Do a nice little walk around of it. It's pretty simple right now. Like I said, it's a performance pack, so we're working with the Brembos. We're gonna get those painted hopefully this weekend. It's pretty simple around back. It's got a good tone to it. There's the MBRP exhaust I was talking to you about. The black back plate delete. It was a spoilerless car, as you can see, but I do have a spoiler that will be going on the car. But yeah, it's pretty simple. You'll see the engine in the upcoming videos. It's just a simple PMAS intake. I mean, there's nothing to it. So, plans for the car in the upcoming vlogs. We got a bunch of how-tos we're going to be doing. We're going to wrap in the car. Again, go to my Instagram. You can check out the color that we're going to be making it. We have new wheels. Oh, the wheels are sick. They're 350R spec wheels. So I've actually got 350 fenders that we're going to be putting on the car to fit the fronts because they're 19 by 11 plus 24. And I'm going to be running 305, 30, tires in the front and 3 25/30 tires in the rear. So it's gonna be meaty. It's gonna be real meaty. It's gonna be awesome. Then got a brake cooling kit for the Brimbos and a couple small add-ons. So I'm still not sure how I'm gonna do the vlogs for this. If I'm gonna make them all like one just like weekend install vlog, or if I'm gonna do a bunch of different you know, how-to sections on it. Honestly, I'm gonna be so busy, it's probably gonna be one clumped together vlog, but we'll see. So stay tuned. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. I do want to mention, for those of you who have watched the whole video, I'm gonna be doing a $100 giveaway when I hit 1,000 subscribers. You don't have to do anything except subscribe to me. Whenever I do hit 1,000 subscribers, in that video, I'll make, at the beginning of the video, I'll start off just saying comment something, and after a week I'll pick somebody and I'll just PayPal you $100 right then and there. So, looking forward to it. Forgive me if the sound quality's bad. I've got a pretty cheap vlogging setup. You know, just want to do this for fun for now and see where it goes. I enjoy cars, enjoy racing, so take you guys along for the ride. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Alright, so I lied about the vlog stopping today because we just got our E85 tuning. We're filling her up, boys. We're gonna rock the E85. This is only the first revision of the tune, so there's a couple extra things that we have to do to get this working, but it should be pretty straightforward. It should be pretty quick. Last time I did this in a parking lot, kind of screwed myself, and the car died, so I'm hoping the car doesn't die this time. Go around, so yeah, we'll see what happens. It looks like the battery might have died, so we'll see if the car starts. All right, moment of truth. Will she start? Oh, she started, boys. I did not expect her to start. All right, let's roll the windows up because I gotta go get some change. All right, so we're letting it idle right now. We got the tanks at 0 miles, check. We filled up with E85. Okay, we got 10 minutes of idle in neutral revs for it to start mixing. Yeah, let's get in, wait a little bit, and we'll go do a pull. All right, well, I realized that I never really ended this out and never got us a pull, so here's a data log and pull. That's a good time right there. It's 5 a.m. I'm on the way to the gym, and that is one way to wake up. That's for sure. It's not that fast, but it's fun. It'll do, that's for sure. It'll do. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.